Hi, how are you? It's a beautiful day. It's beautiful. The sky is blue today. Of course, there's clouds and it is a bit raining, but somehow the sky is so blue, isn't it? Right? You can see some blue right there, right? So it's beautiful, beautiful day. Um, so, programming the elephant. What's that mean? And well, basically means that I kind of use the elephant. I think this is from a video I saw on YouTube, where the elephant is really our subconscious, right? Subconscious, and our subconscious is so powerful that it basically, controls almost everything we do, from breathing to thinking, our habits, and the things that we do automatically every day, isn't it? Right? So it's like automatic, right? So, but we have to be very careful though, because this elephant is he's very easily programmed. So who's on today? So the subconscious again is powerful, and the habits that we have on a daily basis, or things that we do automatically without thinking, is basically the elephant taking over, right? So like we don't have to tell ourselves to breathe, and when we cross the road we know to look left and right, so that's in us already. And sometimes certain things that we react to, like somebody punches you, we react to it like, oh, what are you doing, why you punch me, so that's automatic. So anything automatic, anything that we do that we don't think about, that we don't consciously think about, that's basically the elephant being in charge, right? Elephant in charge. And the elephant is very powerful, right? Because it's a huge thing, so it's hard to move, right? So what we want to do is to make sure the elephant is not going in the wrong direction, and it's not taking us places we don't want to go. So we got to make sure we program the elephant well. So it brings us back to avoid saying hate. What does that mean? Avoid saying hate. Well, anyway, I think hate is a very strong word, right? Hate is a very strong word. And there are people who use it often. Oh, I hate this, I hate that, I hate them, I hate it, I hate something, right? I hate doing something. I hate reading. I hate training. I hate them. I hate it when, or I just hate it, and I think so I remember when my daughter was saying it, I hate this. I said, hey, don't say hate. Don't say hate. I said hate is a very strong word, and in other words, when you say it, sometimes you can't take it back anymore, So, for example, sometimes you say you hate certain things, and then, but you have to do it, right? So, but you said it already. You said I hate it, but yet you got to do it. So that makes it difficult, makes it awkward. Of course, if there's people, it makes it awkward, and you don't want to do it because you said it before, isn't it? So it's such a strong word that once we say it out, let it go, it's hard to bring it back in again, right? So, that's why I tell JE, don't use the word hate. And so, how does it relate to the elephant? Hi, John, how are you doing? Hi, Wendy. So, how does it relate hate to the elephant? Well, the thing is, when we keep saying hate, or I dislike, or I really don't like, or strong words like hate. Hate is a strong word. We are basically telling the elephant, or our subconscious, we're programming ourselves to hate a certain thing, right? You're telling, I hate that. So your elephant is listening, like, okay, I got it, Willing. You hate that. Yes, okay, you hate that. Hate that. And it doesn't happen once or twice or three times. I mean, it's an ongoing process. We don't just hate one thing, because once we're used to saying I hate one thing, guess what? We have the license to hate many things, isn't it? Well, because we've said hate once, so we can say it again. So we keep saying it. Maybe I hate that. I hate reading. I just hate it. I just hate stuff, right? So I understand there are certain things we really dislike, right? And which is understandable. But listen to this first, So, and then you can choose if you still want to use hate, or you can choose other words. So when we use the word hate, and again it becomes a habit, we start to tell the elephant stuff we don't like to do. So the elephant is like, okay, I got it. You told me you don't like that. You hate that a lot. So whenever you are going to do it, the elephant tells you, well, hey, Willing, you remember you said you hate doing that, so we're not going to do that, right? So I'm not gonna help you do that because you hate doing that and you hate it so much. So I'm gonna prevent you from doing it because you said you hated it, right? So let me give an example. Let's say, for example, you have to read, and I think a lot of people say, oh, I just hate reading books, all that kind of stuff, right? So there are people like that. Or even you say, oh, I dislike reading books, or I don't like to read books, right? So guess what? The elephant in you will start to say, oh, okay, Willing, you don't like to read books. Remember, you said you hate it. You said you dislike it. You said you don't like it a lot, right? So whenever I open a book and start to read it, guess what happens? I fall asleep. I look for excuses. I skip it. I avoid it. I'll be sick. I will go somewhere else. I will, give a million reasons why I don't need to read that book. And that's the problem. That's a problem. And when we keep saying things we hate or dislike, and we, to the elephant makes it so. It makes it real. We realize it, and guess what? We don't read. We don't do the things we do. I know there's some things you hate to do, right? Oh, I just hate it when it's raining, all that kind of stuff. But again, that's again programming yourself to don't like uncomfortableness, and that could be a different discussion. But again, the more we try to hate stuff, the more we avoid it. But sometimes to grow, sometimes to improve, sometimes to get to the next level, we just got to do it. There's no escape, So, and by keep on saying that, our elephant tries to avoid it. And guess what? We will never get to the next level. We will never read the book. We will never do the thing because we have programmed ourselves not to do it. Okay, so I would say, my advice is don't use the word hate. It's too strong a word, and when it gets out, you can't pull it back in because number one, it's awkward, because you say, well, didn't you say you hate him? And well, yeah, but so, and people change as well, don't they, right? And situations change as well. So I believe situations change and people change. So sometimes when you hate someone, it's a tough word, it's a hard word. But maybe they will change. Maybe they're in a situation that was tough for them to make that decision. Thus, you had no choice but to hate him. But maybe given a different situation, maybe he would have made a different choice. And there's a sense of compassion, forgiveness in other people. But when you say hate, right, it's such a strong word that even if he did change, even if he did make some improvement, it's very hard for you to go and say, okay, I like him now. Because we have face, we have ego, right? We don't want to be wrong. We don't want people to say, well, I thought you said you hate him. How come you like him now? Well, yeah, but still, but we don't want to be wrong, and we don't want people to make fun of us. So we end up not connecting to that guy again, and we don't appreciate his changes again, isn't it? So just because of the word hate that we use, we cut off future potential. We cut off future choices of future improvement that we could have, So that's why I don't like to use the word hate, and sometimes of course we use it out of emotion. So to watch that, anything out of emotion is tough because once you get it out, you can't put it back in again, isn't it? I mean, even if you say sorry, right? So don't use the word. So instead of saying I hate him, maybe what you say is I dislike what he did, not him as a person, but what he did. So you break it out into a behavior rather than the person, because you can't hate a person for life. I mean, maybe he did something wrong, but so you say, oh, I hate what he did, not the person, but what he did. Okay, so change that context, and so in the future there's potential in the future. You don't cut off anything. Okay, so again, to program the elephant, don't use the word hate, because you program the elephant to hate everything. If you say hate once, you hate many times, and you give yourself licenses to hate anything. Right? So stop using the word hate. Maybe you say prefer. Maybe in time I will like. Maybe I would choose this instead of that, right? Rather than the word hate. Okay. So anyway, that's my sharing today. Hi, YouTube Kumar. How are you? good to see you. Thank you so much. You know, it means a lot. So that's my sharing today about hate. I know it's a kind of different thing to talk about. I think seldom people talk about the word hate, and nobody, you know, if you sometimes if you say hate, it's hard for anybody to tell you don't say hate, you know, because number one, people don't usually do that to correct you to say don't say hate, and people can't quite connect the reason hate to the elephant and programming and habits and to the cut off of potential. So yeah, so I hope this helps. And you know, if you see anybody else who you have friends who, you know, always use the word hate, I hate this, I hate that, share this with them. You know, it might not change them, but it might give them a different perspective to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna pull back and say, hey, I'm gonna, you know, kind of maybe change my thing, or be aware. At least they're aware of what they say, and if they're aware, maybe the elephant will take note. Okay, the elephant will take note, and then the elephant will kind of be aware. Oh, you're just joking. Oh, I get what you mean. Then it will allow you to do things that you've always wanted to do. All right, so I hope it helps, and share this with friends. And thanks for joining. Thank you, you too, Charlene and Annie. All right, have a fantastic day. It's a beautiful day, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Take care now. Bye bye.